Well, hello, everyone. We don't have anyone in the chat room yet, but that's all right. We can still chit chat. I am trying to. Whoops, whoops. No. Cancel. I just made an emergency phone call. Figures, right? Just because I'm trying to get my phone to. I'm trying to download a video and it's taking forever. I'm having problems with my internet. So if I disappear, because I have no internet. Isn't that just lovely? Of course, it would happen just before going on live for this channel. So there's always that, right? So today we're going to be talking about food addiction. I'm going to wait a little bit before so people can come on in here. I might my little cheat notes here. I'm trying to make a little room here to make sure I cover the things that I wanted to cover. Um, put my papers down. Yeah, because there's a long list of companies and stuff that. Oh, why do I keep doing that? I keep hitting buttons. Hi, Nikki. Did I ask? Are we trying to stay on topic? Yeah, you know me. I sort of squirrel and go off topic. But for the most part, it's going to be food addiction and foods that we're addicted to, and why we're addicted to some of the things that we're addicted to. When you think about it, it kind of like pisses me off. It makes me angry that I could be this size because of some company played around with my food and engineered it so I would be addicted. When you think about it, it kind of pisses you off. It does me. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. The stuff that pisses us off when these companies play with our food. But we'll wait until we get a couple more people in, and then we'll just go ahead and start. I might end up losing connection. I'm on my hotspot because my connection went down. So I have no internet. I've been messing around with it for the last half hour. Um, I kind of have two channels on right now. So if I see him a little dizzy, that's why. Okay, tear the whole thing out last. Oh, no. That sucks. We don't want to deal with that. No. Got baby sleeping in her house. I just loved on her a whole bunch, and she should be satisfied through this video, I hope. Oh, I'll give it a couple more minutes and then we'll go ahead and start. So, whoever's out there that's coming in, I see we have a couple that's lurking in the back corners. Today's topic is going to be on food addiction. And I found this out. I was listening to some channel about a week ago, and they were talking about food addiction, and they were talking about all these different companies that are messing with our food. And I'm like, yeah, as if. So I decided to research it on my own. And the more I read into it, the more pissed off I got. I'm finding out there's lawsuits all over the place. And I'm like, oh my God, this is real. This is real. These companies are messing with us. So I thought, you know, not that I'm trying to find an excuse why I'm fat, but when you think about, or obese, when you think about it, that these companies that we rely on to give us good, healthy foods are actually engineering them to make us addicted to them. So we want it. And we keep eating it. And we become unhealthy, and it's their fault for messing with our food. But yet, they can't be sued because a judge out there thinks, well, you got control over what you put in your mouth. Yes, the cigarette companies, they've been sued because they made it highly addictive. Well, the same thing goes with our food, people. These companies have learned because of the cigarette companies, the tobacco, how to make people addicted. And they're using it for our food. and making it highly addictive. Just like alcohol, just like drugs, just like tobacco. Now they're messing with our food. They're using the same pathways that makes drugs, alcohol, and tobacco addictive, and they're doing it to our food. And it's just absolutely crazy. And we all should be angry. And to think that they can't be sued because we control whether what we put in our mouth, that's what one of the last judges said during a lawsuit, is crazy. You know, the tobacco industry, they were sued and they lost, but a judge didn't say it's because you put it in your mouth and you inhaled it. So what's the difference between the two? I don't know. You would think would be more concerned over companies playing with our food than of the cigarettes. Right? Now I am a survivor from smoking cigarettes. I did smoke cigarettes for many, many years, about 30 years, and I ended up having 3 strokes. So I know the addiction to cigarettes is real. I'm reading comments. Yeah, it's really insane. Um, so we get the cravings because they put, they make it, they make all the salt, fat, and all the good stuff that we like the sugar. They make it so that it's addictive, that we get like a bliss high from it. We get happy. So if you're a person that's depressed and you go out and get one of these foods from these companies and you sit down, they put enough goodsy stuff in there. They have it all mixed just right so that you addicted, so that you start to feel good when you eat it. Oh, this is good. And you can't have just one. Haven't you ever heard of that the commercial? Oh, you can't stop at just one. There's a commercial out there with food that you can't stop at just one. That's true. They're causing us to be addicted. And we'll sit here and wait. Yes, we have control whether or not we can stop, whether we put the food in our mouth to begin with. But once you're addicted, you're addicted. And so when you think about some of these companies that cause addiction, that's making their food, they engineer it to make you addictive. And the list, people, is endless. Look at the list. These are all companies that are messing with our food. I mean, Coca Cola, we all knew Coca Cola. That's been a thing since the beginning of time. Pepsi Cola, Dr. Pepper, Snapple. Snapple, I wouldn't have thought Snapple was addictive, but, when I read that, I was like, Snapple? Because I always thought of it as, yes, ask a favor. You want me to sit on my hands or something? I'm not crocheting, so I got to do something with my hands. But yeah, so I always thought Snapple, this paper, yeah, I can email it. Just send me an email. And yeah, send me an email and I'll forward it to you. So it's really crazy. Even Snapple, which I always thought was just a fruit juice, and that's actually engineered to be able to for us to be addicted to it. They're formulated drinks with high sugar, caffeine for cravings. They target children. Can you imagine they're targeting children to be addicted to this stuff? It's insane. It's got to be abuse, but we can't prove it. I mean, we can, but we can't because you have a choice whether or not you put it in your mouth to begin with. And then you got fast chains, Burger, McDonald's. These are all companies that have been accused of manufacturing, engineering foods to be addictive. McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut. I mean, it goes on and on. They build their food to be hyper, and I'm going to mess up on this word, palatable. Items like their burgers, their fries, the nuggets, the pizza. They're engineering it so that it tastes so good that you'll keep coming back and buying more. I know so many people, my daughter, who just eats and eats this junk food constantly. And I'm like, Stop, cook something. Stop buying food from these places. And I'm watching her get bigger and bigger and bigger. Snacks and processed food giants like Frito-Lay, that's the Pepsi company. Chips like Doritos, Cheetos, engineered for can't stop at just one. That's addiction. You can't stop at just one. They're messing with our food. Heinz, they process cheeses, mac and cheese, sauces. So you got to be careful. I call a cheese that when you unwrap it and it just flops, it sags, it just drops. That's fake cheese. That's how I do. That's how I tell when I go to get cheese. If I open it up and if it starts to like look like it's wilted, fake cheese. I can't help it. That's what goes through my mind. So I don't want to eat fake cheese. When I cut into or I buy some sliced cheese and it snaps, that's what I want. That's what I want. Oh God. Yeah, right. Thank you though, Cindy. So, I'm just having this really hard time accepting the fact that these companies really, causing us. No wonder American people are getting fatter and fatter and more unhealthy. Really, seriously. We got all these people, all these companies against us. And then you have things like Oreos and cookies of all kinds that's been added into this addictive um, way of selling and marketing these things. General Mills, Kellogg's, Post cereals hitting sugar, bliss points. They know the bliss points, um, and and those cereals are marketing to kids. I walk down the cereal aisle and I see some of the favorite cartoon characters and what's that guy Tony the Tiger and all this food is just junk. It's made to for kids to see the package, love the package, and then it's sugar and they love the sugar, they get addicted to it. And then you've got candy bars and candy. You've got Mars, Hershey's, Nestle, high sugar, high fat candies, and it's all engineered to taste a certain way, so you want more. And that's the key word. You want more, you know? Um, and it's just insane. It just goes on and on and on, guys. So not only so we're craving all this food, the companies get us to crave these foods, and then we get unhealthy, and then we start feeling guilty because we're eating all this stuff. But I feel like it's not our fault. We just have to learn, accept that we have an addiction. I guess we all need to go to Alcoholics Anonymous, right? Hi, hi. My name's Barbara, and I'm addicted to food because of all these companies stuffing stuff to cause me to be addicted, just like an alcoholic. That's what's happening, people. We're all alcoholics, but we're foodaholics, I guess you'd want to call it. Food, addicted to food. And we can break that cycle. We can by understanding it, learning what's going on, learning what the companies are doing to make money off from our illnesses, our shortcomings, I guess, or our cravings that they caused us to have to begin with. It's all a money, 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 money. And the more I see it, and the more I read about it, and the more I see all the different lawsuits, I've read lawsuits after lawsuits, and how judges are just letting them get away with it. Drives me nuts. And then when you find out that these companies are paying off our politicians, it just keeps going on and on. It's just this huge scam to make us sick, and nobody cares. Nobody cares but us. And we need to stop the cycle of addiction. We have to spread the word. And it just drives me nuts that this world has gone. It's just the money. It's a money. I keep saying I'm not going to go political. I'm not a political person. I'm not. But this goes beyond anything that you can imagine. It goes to the pharmaceutical companies. When we're addicted to this stuff and we're getting sicker and sicker, it's they're making money off from the food companies. The food, I thought, not the food companies. So it starts with the food companies, then it's the drugs, the pharmaceuticals that say, yeah, get addicted, guys, get sick, get diabetes. We got medication for that. And then you get the doctors that are giving you the medication that, it's all just one big circle of bullcrap. So we need to stop it. Let's not let them win. Sugar is one of the most addictive drugs out of our foods. That's right. And they're throwing that sugar in there. And then when we find out that this particular word is a sugar, they change the word and make it another word so basically what I'm saying is if you don't understand something in your food, if you don't know what it is, don't eat it. Don't eat it. Because they're making us sick. They are making us sick. If it says sugar that's in it, I mean, why should sugar be in something like, I don't know, anything that we buy? I mean, we just got to pay attention, guys. We got to read our labels. We got to not let them win, not let them make us sick, and then end up being in that cycle of needing, we eat the food, we have to go to the doctors because we're sick. They give us medication, and everyone's making money off of us, all because of sugar, all because of, you know, let's make things so that people are addicted to it so we can make money. It's all a money scheme. And I don't know. I'm kind of mad. I'm kind of mad. I'm mad at the chip companies that I can't eat just one because the salt is so perfect. It's just what I crave, or it tastes really good. I love the flavors. I get happy when I eat it. I shouldn't get happy from eating food. I should, be sated and go on. It's not about the food. I don't want to be happy because I ate. Am I making sense? Am I just a weirdo here? Do I make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? I want to be addicted to life. I don't want to be addicted, to a food that's making me sick so that I can't enjoy life. And that's what's happened to me for many, many years. And it's all because of something some company engineered and got me into that spiral road to being unhealthy. So that's my thoughts on food addiction. And what do you think? Am I crazy? Tell me what you think. Let's open up so that everyone can talk about all of it. I mean, do you feel you guys are addicted? Have you broken that addictive cycle? I feel like I'm in the midst of breaking it. I'm breaking it. I'm understanding it, but I still get angry that it's still happening, and it's happening to our children. I've got a granddaughter that she is skinny as a rail, but she doesn't eat food. She doesn't eat. Every time I see her, she's eating candy. It's like, stop eating the junk food. It's like she's addicted to sugar. She's hyper, and they can just, I mean, I love her to pieces. She's a great kid, but oh my God, she's addicted to sugar. Where does it stop? You know, it's got to stop. She'll sit down and eat a gallon of sugar, I think, and be fine. Yeah, anything with oats in it, glucose, all of, and then they try to sneak in like corn syrup, but you're right. It's more addictive than heroin. Absolutely. I've seen people addicted to heroin and all kinds of stuff, and sugar is so worse. That's still considered fructose. Yeah. I'm really nervous that I might slip up, that one of these companies are going to do something next to my meat or something that I believe in. I've already heard they're trying to turn our meat into, well, they're taking plants and making it into meat. Yeah, I'm not sure yet how I feel about that. And then I'm hearing about this fake butter, I guess, that they're, I don't know. It's like insane. 125 years ago, the average person ate, the average per ate was 1 pound of sugar a year. Today, the average is one bathtub of sugar a year. Can you imagine that? People just, you know, sugar is one of the causes of cancer, even. Sugar feeds cancer. A lot of cancer would just go away or be controlled from growing if you just slow or stop sugar intake. You know, it's same thing with Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's would stop if you didn't keep feeding it sugar. So your brain needs something other than sugar. My mother died of Alzheimer's, and it drives me nuts that it's considered the third diabetes. Diabetes number three is Alzheimer's. And that's pretty sad when you think about it. That all these people, if they would just stop being addicted to these foods that these companies are giving us, we'd still have our loved ones with us. Maybe some would pass on of other things, but if it weren't for the sugars, I could probably have my dad still here. He died of cancer. I would have my mom still here, probably. She died of Alzheimer's and dementia. And now, I mean, when I grew up, I didn't have all those foods. I mean, there was some, but now it's the kids. They're doing it to our kids, and they're going to end up having all of these problems much sooner than our generation. Because now they're targeting the children. When I was younger, it wasn't, yeah, we got it once in a while. It wasn't an everyday thing. I'm seeing it now where our kids, it's every day. It's every day. They're skipping meals. They won't eat vegetables. They'd rather have a candy bar. And parents are okay with that. So it's getting worse, people. It's getting worse. My dad has dementia and he doesn't eat sugar at all. He also a carnivore. You know, I couldn't tell you the answers with that. I just know that a lot of cases with dementia um, and Alzheimer's, that it's like a diabetic. And who knows why, if he wasn't doing any sugar, maybe he was eating something else. Like me, no one would probably know that I was a closet eater, or I would sit here after everyone goes to bed and open a bag of chips and sit here and eat it. And sugar, there's lots of foods that people don't realize that turns into sugar. And that's these foods that these companies are doing. It may not be sugar. It's another form of something that turns into sugar in our bodies. That's the way I see it. There could have been something else that triggers. But then again, this isn't a fail safe. Still, people are, because some of this stuff is genetic, but a lot of it can be. There's someone that talked to me earlier that said they're on the carnivore diet and they have a brain tumor and they're able to keep that tumor from growing by not having anything carb. They're strictly carnivore. And because she started doing that, or he, because I can't remember if it's a he or a her, um, their brain tumor has stopped growing. Between the addictive electronic devices and the addictive foods, our kids are struggling. They are. They are, Julie. They're struggling. And it's worse than my generation. It's worse than my generation. There isn't too many kids. I see one that's addicted to soda. Constantly, every time I see this boy, he's always got a soda. And it's like, oh God. And I know, I've seen it, and now, it's like once your eyes are open to these factors, and you walk down the grocery store and you see the carts are filling with all this junk food addictive, or even foods they think is right. It's not. It's addictive. You might think you're healthy, and they'll even put healthy, like a box of Cheerios. It'll say right on the box, the healthy food. It's great for the heart, but is it really? You know, it's still a carb. It might be low in sugar, but it still turns into a sugar. So, yeah, it's all crazy. It's all crazy. You go into a restaurant and you think you're like you order an omelet thinking it's just going to be eggs and maybe you put some bacon and stuff in it. Then you find out that that omelet was made, with eggs, yes, but with pancake batter. Why are you putting pancake batter in my omelet? Because it tastes better when you do that, people. It tastes better. Yeah. So that's what my topic today was about is, just I know most of us already know this stuff. Most of us has heard it, but it's just mostly to throw it out there that, maybe I don't know what we can do. Maybe spread it more, help people's eyes open up. It just it's like once you know, you can't unknow, And now I'm just angry. So that's what I got to say, people. I'm I'm just blown away. And it seems like our country is just spiraling out of control with this kind of stuff. And I'm hoping that we don't just dwell on just color. I hear, oh, we're going to stop foods that have um oh, what do you call it, the dyes in it, the colors and stuff. And I'm like, it's not just that. It's not just that. Uh, Open people's eyes, get them to be more movable and better eaters. But until they realize that the food has addictives in it, all we can do is keep telling them. Yeah, the red number five. This topic such a deep rabbit hole. It is. It's like it's gonna happen. We can't fight this. All we can do is just spread what we know. People aren't gonna believe it. You know how many people that I've said, keto and the carnivore lifestyle is the best? People don't want to listen. They're like, oh no, no, those are dangerous. They don't want to listen. Eating that muffin every morning, they don't want to listen. I mean, and I get it. I was down that, you know, doing the same thing. I had that blueberry muffin in the morning with some cream cheese on it. Yummy, yummy. Yeah, it was addictive. I wanted more. I wanted another one. I had it so the next time I went to the grocery store, I bought four four blueberry muffins and then hid them so I could eat them when no one was around. Because I was that addicted to them. I had to have them. I loved them. They're so good. And breads. Oh my goodness. I love me some fresh bread. Holy cow. And that's the same thing. How many people love smelling fresh baked bread? And then you crave it and you want it. And next thing you know, your sugar is out of control. And I tested that. I know that it happens. I know that my body loves, loves, loves the taste of freshly homemade bread. But I also know that it ups my sugar, skyrockets it. And so I can't eat it. But I miss it. I crave it. My wife and I watched a show this morning and were very encouraged and said she loved your enthusiasm and sure hopes that you'll be able to stick it out. I hope I am too. But one of the things that I didn't have in the past that I feel I have now is all of you guys. Being able to talk about the things that I've learned and sharing the journey. And even I look back to how I was walking that day one. I looked at it again this morning and it was like, I don't want to get back there. So I have to keep looking back to where I came from so that I can keep moving forward. And it makes me mad that so many people have their eyes closed to all these money making schemes. It's sad. Yeah, I mean, I'm worried. I'm so worried that what if they start putting stuff in our meats that we think is just meat? That's next. Yeah, look at that. The dyes, hormones. I was mad when I was told once, this was a few years ago. I never really looked into it, but someone from the grocery store said, you know what they do with chicken when it's like getting close to being bad? They go ahead and soak it in, um, uh, what's that? It's a white powder, soda, baking soda. They soak it in baking soda. And I'm like, what? And then they put all this um, tasty stuff on it, all the sprinkles, they flavor it. And then they put it out like it's barbecued chicken, raw chicken, and they package it up and try to resell it. And I'm like, how the hell can they get away with something like that? So now every time I go into the grocery store and I see that those chicken legs that are in a package, maybe 4 or 6 chicken legs, and it's raw meat. It's all open, but it's got like lemon flavor, spices on top, and stuff like that. I'm like, nope, not buying that. I know where that came from. I can't buy it. I don't want nothing added to my food. I just don't. I'm so mortified right now that I'm going to fall into that trap of I'm going to love this steak that costs $40 a piece, but I love it now and I have to have it because I'm addicted to it. But they put all kinds of this hidden invisible spices in my meat. That's coming, guys. I'm telling you, it's coming. Ah, ah. And what's really crazy to me is um, that are cows' farts are are ruining the ozone level. So we have to cut back on beef. It's insane. Come on, people. Are we really going to believe in this crap? Come on. I don't know if there's real science in that, but every time I hear that, I see that, I'm like, get out of here with that. My farts are probably breaking the ozone level, not the beef. My farts are toxic, damn it. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I'll be good. But I just get so angry that people just, ah, and it's just all around you. And it's like, nope, not going to touch that. Nope, nope, nope. And it makes me mad too because when I go grocery shopping, I go grocery shopping for other people, and other people want those cakes and goodies and stuff. And it's like, I get so angry. Here's this cake. It's somebody's birthday. Got to buy a cake. Because that's something that's expected. It's a ritual in America that when it's somebody's birthday, you got to buy a cake. It's my daughter's birthday today. And what did I do yesterday? I bought her a big cake. And I'm thinking, when I saw that, that is so silly. Why am I falling? Why can't I just give her a ribeye steak? Why does it have to be a cake? That's addictive. you know, Hindsight is wonderful, isn't it? Yeah. And then I hear that, how you go into a grocery store and you're looking at your meat and some of it looks kind of brown, some of it looks really red and nice. I'm hearing that they're putting red dyes in our meat just to make them look good. It's like, what? How long it takes for store bought meats to turn brown? Exactly. When we butcher our animals on the farm, brownish meat is the norm. Yes. And now it's like, I don't know which is good. I don't know if it's the brown one or if it's the bad one, the red one, or the one I think is good. Because my eyes say this red one that's been processed, hamburg meat, for example, is a good one, is good for you. This one's good for you because it looks right. But this one over here from a different meat company, this is brown, and that's nasty. That's going bad. Yeah. I've looked into it, and it's just they expect the ones that I've looked into that's closer to me. It's just so expensive because you have to buy big lots of it. They want you to buy big lots of it. It's just too expensive. Everything nowadays, right now, is just so expensive. And that too upsets me because how am I supposed to eat properly if I can't get the food because they're making it so expensive? I know. Yeah. Yeah. While the government flies their planes around, LOL, they want us to worry about car parts. I know. That's what I mean. It's so ridiculous. But the government comes out with and expects us to believe, but yet we've got people dying, from being unhealthy because of the food companies having us get addicted to. It's like crazy. Yeah. Does anyone else have anything to say? Anyone else feel they're addicted? I know my problem was bread and chips. Those are the two things. The salt and the chips was just what I craved. And now I don't feel like I crave chips anymore. But then again, I have my good salt. I have my good salt. And when I'm craving salt, you know, I'll make some beef tips and I'll add some more salt to my beef and I'm getting my salt that way. All right, I am getting there when I get a chance. Let's see, what does she got? What she got for me? What she got for me? Oh no. Oh no. I hope everything in that way is okay. Oh, well, I don't know what's going on, guys, but all those that are prayer warriors, we need to pray for someone that comes into this chat by the name. I won't say the name. I want her to have her own privacy, but just pray for uh, a subscriber to this channel. She's gone to the ER, so let's do our diligence and just say a moment that everything is just fine, and hopefully she'll be okay. Um, yeah, I love crunchy and salty. Yeah, yeah. And so now I do have my pork rinds. I haven't had them all week because I'm doing. It's not beef, so it's not. I even looked for like a beef crunch. I couldn't find nothing though. But then it would be processed. I'm trying to stop with the processed foods. Yeah, my whole thing was chips and breads, not candy. But all those turn into sugar. They're all addictive. They're all addictive. And but those were my fallbacks. But I feel that maybe not the breads, but the chips I can replace that saltiness, like I said, from putting good salt on my food, and also through pork rinds. But I don't want to get into where I crave pork rinds all the time and not eat a meal because it's not like they're healthy or anything. I hate it when they add solution to the meat. I have no idea what it is, the solution that bothers me. Yeah. Or the healthy meat that's not even meat at all. They're coming out with a healthy meat now, people, which is just plants. That's what I'm hearing. The healthy meat. Or some, I guess they're growing it or something. I don't know. All I know is I try to stay away from the healthy, they claim it's healthy meat. Then you find out it's vegan or Um, I would do that. I have done that. I would do that. I have done. I've made meatballs using pork rinds. Instead of the bread or the the crackers. I've used mashed up pork rinds. Oh, they didn't escape. It wasn't that dog. Thank goodness. But one of the dogs was like a beagle type, and the other one was a small white dog. And what I saw running was a small white dog, so I was like panicked. But when I got back, I found that it wasn't the garage was empty. They had come and picked up the dog. Thank goodness. I didn't even think when I left the house that morning to even think on the dog to think to check on the dogs because they had been so quiet. So it was like I was so relieved when I got back and they their dog bowls everything was picked up and gone and so that was good. You know what they say, you're not used to having four dogs in the house and when two are gone and it's just normal, it's like, it's just a normal regular day and you just leave and you're like after you get going, you're like, "Oh crap. I didn't eat it. I did not eat it." I love steak with fried eggs. I just love steak with bacon and the egg just oozing around the steak. So I'm going to eat that tomorrow night. I'm going to eat it tomorrow night during the live. I'm going to have my steak. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we do live again, carnivore, and I'm going to eat my steak and eggs and bacon. It's going to be what what breaks my 7-day fast. Uh, so tomorrow I get my eggs, my bacon, and my steak. All my favorite foods on one plate. Um, when you were a child, did you get free vaccinations during school? When I was a child, I didn't know if the vaccinations were free or not, but I know I got some that were in school. Whether they were free or not, I have no idea. But I did get some. I remember standing in line with the other kids and getting a shot in the arm. That's what we're eating tomorrow, Nikki. Chicken thighs rolled in pork rinds. Love that salty crunch. Yeah. Well, congratulations on 26-pound weight loss, even if even if it was water weight. Well, like someone said, water weight is still weight loss. And I can go on forever and say, "Oh, it's just water weight." And yeah, it could be. It could be just water weight. But I'm going to claim it. And then someone else said, "Well, with water you lose fat too." So, that's how you lose the fat is through peeing, through losing water. So, and then every time I lose 5 pounds or 2 pounds or one, it's gonna be water weight. I'm just gonna say, yeah, it's just water weight because that's the devil on this shoulder saying it's just water weight. Don't worry, it's just water weight. But it is a shocker to me, and I don't really understand the whole biological reasoning behind it. But you can weigh one weight, you know, we could step on the scale and then step on the scale the next day and you'll be down 5 pounds. And you step off the scale and go back on it and you're still down from 5 pounds. And that always freaks me out that you can be that much in just the day that your weight fluctuates. I could step on the scale tomorrow when I do my 7-day fast ending, and it could be up 5 pounds. So maybe I'll only have lost 21 pounds, and I am still eating that darn steak. I'm telling you right now because it still counts. I lost 26 pounds. Even if I went up 5 pounds tomorrow before I make that steak, I'm still eating that steak. By golly. I'm still going to eat it. But then again, I can eat it because I did lose it. I'm still on this journey, and that steak's on my journey. So I'm just going to eat it. I'm going to enjoy it because I did lose it. Whether I gained 5 pounds of water or not, and it's just 21 pounds lost. Okay, I'm still going to celebrate and eat my steak. When I was a child, we did get vaccinations in school, which in hindsight, I think was human experimentation on kids in school. Some people might believe in that. I believe that it was during a time of all these crazy stuff, polio, and uh, even if what I know today about vaccinations, if polio was going on in this country again like it was back when I was a kid, I would make sure my kids were vaccinated from it, and I would get vaccinated. Well, I've already been vaccinated from it, but I would make sure because polio is not it's not a good disease. It's not something that you know. It's horrible to die of polio. It's not an easy disease, and I wouldn't want that on any child. And I did it, yeah, experimental or not. It's one of those deaths that is not easy. Oh God. For all that matters, the COVID vaccination, some people say is not safe. And that's going into a political, I don't want to debate on it. I'm just saying some people say that's not safe. Some people say that it is. It's bad and good no matter which way you go, no matter how you see it. You know, you can see it on this side as yes, it's unsafe because this, and this happens, and then this person over here says yes, but you're going to have side effects no matter what. Anyway, there's going to be people that have side effects, so you just got to weigh it out and take your chances or not, and that's an individual choice. Choice whether or not we put that food in our mouth. And hopefully we can break the cycle of addiction. Um, so, how is everyone doing? Anyone have any victories this week? I'm always talking about victories. Anyone else have victories? I know that the first 80 pounds was mostly water weight, and I had put edema from the knees down, and I had pitting edema from the knees down. I love how my legs look and feel now. Yeah, and I think that I'm still going to lose more water weight. It's still 26 pounds that's lifted from, all my joints and stuff like that. I'm not carrying that much more weight to hurt my knee joints or my ankle joints or whatever, my feet or my back. My phone hasn't rang this morning, so that's a victory. Yeah, even if some of it was water weight, I'm still happy. I am cold. Ah, I have not had foreign fraud scammers for quite some time. That is a victory. Yeah. Well, I like to see victories. I think that we don't remind ourselves that we've had victories or that we're having victories, and we just try to reason it out like it's not a victory. Ah, all right, time to put this on. I'm too cold. Oh, I swear my husband's trying to freeze me out of the house. I have to go outside to get warm. Ah, I changed my shirt, put on a long sleeve shirt. Ugh. Baby, I'm surprised that when I grabbed this that you didn't come running. Ugh, cold. Yeah, so let's see what else I put down on these notes. Um, let's see if there's anything that I skipped. Yeah, I got cereal makers. Sugar coating flakes sold as healthy. How is that healthy? It's just a money game. They profit while we struggle. So pretty much we have to look at the food that we're eating. We have to look at it like we're a detective. And you really have to pay attention. Don't let them win. My daughter is a big fan of you. Her name is Maya. Can you give her a shout out? Hello, Maya. Thank you for watching. Thank you, thank you. So, hello, Maya. I hope I said your name right. And hello, Munther. Everything is a victory for me as long as I learn from my experience. That's right. And you have a lot of things going on for you, John. So you've had to learn a lot. When I say you have to learn what's good for your body, John is one that's really trying to learn his ins and outs and learn what's healthy and what isn't by what his body tells him. I'm a very firm believer in that. Listen to your body, listen to what it's telling you because it's very important that you listen. I stopped listening a long time ago because I was addicted. I didn't care. It was like someday I'll take care of it. Well, today's someday. I feel like I got a fan. Thank you, May. I think you're my first fan. I keep reading it over and over. Thank you. I got my first fan. I'm just me, you guys. Seriously, I'm freezing. Is it working to look at the food we are eating with what is in it? Let me read that again. Is it working to look at the food that we are eating with what is in? Of course it is. If you look at a package and it's got a whole list of stuff that's in that food and you don't know what half of it is, I would suggest not eating it because that's how they get us. I can guarantee you there's something in there that you wouldn't want in that food. I don't know if I got anything around here that would have a here's something. Let's check this out. This is this is a human food. It's not a dog food, but sometimes if I don't have something for baby, I feed her one of these. So this is a packaged food from Kroger. Let's see what's in this. I gotta find it first. There's ingredients: white chicken meat, water, modified food starch, and sodium phosphates. Because it says modified food starch, modified food starch, modified food starch. I would not eat this. I probably shouldn't be giving it to my dog either. And that looks pretty innocent, don't it? Premium white chicken, no draining, fully cooked, ready to eat. You could just eat it right out of this package. Now, this is something to have in a prepper closet or if you had an emergency bag you wanted to stash, if you had to leave the house real quick and fast. I would grab one of these and have it as a prepper emergency type thing in a kit. But would I use this for an everyday meal? No. I would not eat this because of the modified food starch. If it didn't say that, it just said white chicken, white chicken meat and water and salt. Yeah, I would eat this every day. But it doesn't say that. It's got something modified in it. And food starch modified. Uh, there's something in this that's addictive, people. I don't care. And that's where they get you. They put something on the package that you think is innocent, but is it really innocent? Is it? And that's why what it comes down to is you have to investigate your food that you're willing to put in your mouth. Because it's just like, here's rat poison. Do you want to eat it? It says rat poison right on the top, and I say, here, eat this. You're gonna look at that and you're gonna be, is it really rat poison? And you gotta look at it to see, right? You're not gonna eat it. It's rat poison. So there's that. Uh, I can move those off to the side. So has anyone else got anything they'd like to add? Anything that you've um, let's see. Everything is a victory for me. Thumbs up. Hi, Patty. Hi, Nikki, John, everyone. Hi, Patty, Patty. Glad you made it, Patty. Yeah, I watched Bill Knotts just before I came and went live. He had just put it out. I love Bill Knotts. Some people say, "Oh, he's too religious" or whatever. I just think he's a great man. I think he's a great man to be able to do what he did and go down over 300 pounds in 2 years. That in itself is insane. That is, it's he's got a big heart. He's just, an incredible man to be able to be so steadfast in this journey to get healthy. It's just, I'm not trying to idolize him or anything, but he is just a phenomenal man. He knew what he wanted. He, you know, and went forward and did what was right for him, and he stayed that way. He didn't give up. He didn't give in. I'm sure he probably had moments of the devil and the angel on his shoulder saying da 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 da, and had the little battles, but he still came out strong. Do I have what? Yeah, I asked you already about the bag. Bye. Yeah, my daughter might come over for birthday gifts, and I wanted to make sure that the bag my other daughter had out was for Brandy. That I weren't giving away something. Um, yeah, so Bill Knotts is a pretty cool guy. I'm hoping he gets to 350 pretty soon. Oh, when he gets to 350, someone that makes guitars, he's getting a particular kind of guitar, and he just got to get down to 350. And I'm rooting for him so hard that he does it. Any more? Any more? Any more? So that's that. Let's see if I said everything I put in my notes. Um, hmm, I read all the companies. I gave you that list. Food cra- food Foods are engineered to trigger dopamine and cravings. That's what it's all about. It's not just one company, it's an industry-wide practice. Foods are designed to override fullness and keep us eating, much like tobacco was engineered to hook smokers. Lawsuits and criticisms continue. But so far, there hasn't been a lawsuit, even though there's been many of them, there hasn't been a lawsuit from food addiction that they actually won. So far, the companies have won because judges have said You control what you put into your mouth and eat. I haven't watched his video in a while. Does anyone know if he's has gotten to the point of using his rebounder yet? I haven't seen him use his rebounder since I've been back on Carnivore because I used to just watch him now and again, but I haven't seen it yet. I know he tried once. I did see him once, and he stepped back off from it because he needed he needed someone to build something around it or something, so he would have something to hold on to. Yeah, it's crazy. Hello, Squeaky Monkey. Hello, Squeaky Monkey. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we were just talking about food food addiction and how companies are making zillions and billions and cajillion dollars from us, making us addicted to their foods that are unhealthy to us, and they're making so much money. I use my bar a lot of balance. I can't imagine bouncing without one. Yeah, yeah, I would be able to. I wouldn't be able to bounce on one without holding on to something. There's no way. I don't own one. I don't own one, so I don't know how well it does or doesn't do. Oh yes, big food and big pharma want us all sick and addicted. Exactly. Exactly. Make us sick from eating the food, go to the doctors. Doctors are making money too. And the insurance companies. I get so angry when I think about my the insurance I have right now that when I go to pick up my medication, using my health insurance for my buying getting my medication for my blood pressure and anxiety medication, it cost me $107 using my insurance coverage. If I don't use my insurance coverage and I just go in saying no insurance, I just want to pay for it outright, it's $23. How the heck did it go up $100? How? How is it if I have health insurance that I pay for each month? Does it cost me more? I buy health insurance so that it's less, but I got to pay more. I don't get it. It's not logical. Yeah, vicious circle. It is. It is. But everyone's winning. But us. Everyone's winning. Everyone's making the buck. Insurance companies are making the buck. Pharmaceutical companies are making their bucks. The food companies, all from keeping us addicted to food and beyond. Oh, I broke my nail. Oh, it's my biggest nail too. Yeah, so it's crazy, and I can't see any. I can't see any fix for it. I really can't unless we just stop. You know, if people just want healthiness, maybe they'll stop doing what they're doing and promote health. Health and give us healthy food. But they'll somehow have to manufacture something to that too and engineer something. It's still a cycle no matter how you look at it. We just need to remember to eat, like they did 200 years ago. You grew your own food, you raised your own cows, you went back to farms. That's the only way to fix it. And we can't fix that because a lot of us, we live in places where don't allow you to have chickens, raising chickens and gardens, or you don't have the space to have a garden. So we depend on, you know, these food companies to feed us. I would I would have loved to grown my own food, but being homeless hard to do that. I would think it would be easy. You just go in the woods and find some spot that no one's planting in and just plant a garden. Ah, that would be what I would do, I think, because there's so many spaces out there if you're homeless. I, I remember when I was a kid, I would go in the middle of the woods and build myself a one room camp, and I would lug in all this stuff to have a floor and a table and a chair and pillows and blankets. And no one ever knew about it. It wasn't, I didn't know whose property I was building on, but no one ever said, hey, take that down, you know? So I wonder how long someone could actually, you know, build their own little house and in the middle of somebody's woods. And I'm not telling people to do that, but uh, it would help with your diet. Well, I like my comforts. I need a place to cook my meat. I don't want to eat it that raw, but I like raw meat. Before I heard about the carnivore diet, I I like to say should eat like a caveman because if a caveman didn't eat it, you shouldn't either. Now the stores are just filled with food like substances. Yes, yes. Before I went on the carnivore diet this time, I would go into the grocery store and of course I'd be driving a cart because I couldn't walk around the store. I still haven't tried walking around the store yet. But my cart would be overflowing with food. And then last week I went to the grocery store and all the things that were mine was just meat. That was and it wasn't even full. So I got a few things that was all the junk food for the other people that live in the house, but for me, it was my cart was not overflowing. And people often say, "Oh, it's so expensive. It's so expensive to eat to eat right." And when you think about it, when you're not buying all the junk cereal and you're not buying, all the other crap, it's not really more expensive. Although I still won't spend $40 for a ribeye steak. I'm just not going to do it. What makes you think I want to eat things raw and live it? No, I'm talking about if not you. You probably might have a grill and a stove, who knows? But I don't want to eat things raw. I'm talking about me. I like raw meat too, so I could just buy a package of hamburger and eat it raw. It doesn't bother me none. I think I only cook it on the outside a little bit just to give it a little bit of color, like I might have cooked it, because the inside is red and cold and raw. Homeless people don't have things. They are portrayed on TV and YouTube. Homeless people don't have things. Now, I've known people to be homeless, but they lived in their car. They had things. They had places to have a shower, and they would cook, and you know they had things, just on a different level of things. I knew someone that lived on the grid, didn't have electricity, didn't have gas or anything. For years, they had outside toilets and the whole 9 yards. They even did their laundry outside by car battery. Their power was the power from their car battery, and they would switch out all these car batteries every day. So you can be homeless and live in the woods and still have things. It just depends on how much you'd want to do. Yeah, I love my, yeah, that's just about it. 1 minute on each side. My, my husband goes, a bit raw, isn't it? I said, well, mine's cooked. Come out and watch your own. And he's out there for another 5, 10 minutes. I don't want my raw one to, So most of the time, now what I do is I stick his in the frying pan about 5, 10 minutes longer than I would stick mine in the frying pan for. Well, then I'll put mine in the frying pan. Let's put it that way. I cook his for about 5 minutes or so, and then I stick mine in the fry pan. Yeah, that was said right. I feel weird not here crocheting. Oh, my top's going down again. Oh my goodness, I gotta take this shirt off. I'm not saying what I'm thinking. Nikki, I worry about you sometimes. Okay, good. I'm just reading your second message, Nikki. FAP, I don't know what that means. I'm an old lady. I don't know what all these new things mean. That. Are you ripping out things again? Last day of my 7 day. Last day. I can go and eat my steak and bacon and eggs tomorrow. Oh, I can't wait. Yay. Now, I don't regret being on this. It's just 7 days of just beef. Whew. I mean, I love burgers. I love what I've been eating. It's just 7 days without eggs. That's the thing. It's without something else. I like my eggs. I like my bacon. Now, if it was bacon and eggs and the beef, I could do that forever. Well, I saved on buying eggs this week because I didn't eat any. I saved on my bacon because I didn't eat none of that. Putting back better. Not be yawning already. I just waking up. I haven't even made my coffee yet. Well, I got up. I watched a little bit of Keto Simple, Dustin. I watched a little bit of his, and I've been getting up and then within 15 minutes going out to walk, but I stayed and watched another hour of his channel live because I haven't caught a live really yet. And then I went for my walk, and then I came in and I started doing other things. Oh, I had to edit my video, and it's still not. It's still not. I didn't have any. Yeah, it's only uploaded 74% for like 3 hours. 3 hours because I didn't have internet. It's been real super. And even on my phone, I think it's because I'm going live, using my phone as my hotspot to be online. It's still really slow. It's at 75%. So it's going to take me forever to get my walking video today up. I have such a hard time eating eggs. Used to love them, and then did Atkins. I overdid it. I did when I first met the keto side of things. I started with the Atkins, and then what bothered me with the Atkins, they had the right thing at the beginning because I read the book and everything, the Atkins book. But well, I'm going back years ago, right after this surgery. I started taking my health a little bit more serious. So I found the Atkins diet. But the thing that bothered me is everything was turning into cookies and cakes and, the Atkins brownies and all this stuff. And I'm reading the backs of them and they're not even good for you. But then I find out that what happened was, yeah, Atkins was a big thing, but then he passed away and his family sold the rights to some food company or something. And then they started promoting all these things under the Atkins name and it got confused for people. So then that's when I said, well, so much for dealing with Atkins because I was finding myself doing some of this Atkins stuff and I started gaining weight and I was feeling horrible. Then I found the keto, and that was only for about a week or two that I was doing that. And then I found keto and I started to feel a little bit better, but it's a shame that these companies, and that's just it. These companies took a very well-named diet, well-known named diet Atkins, and turned it into something else. They bought the rights. His family sold the rights of the Atkins diet plan, and they ruined it. He definitely was onto something. But yes, cookies and cakes, and then they brought in all the junk bars too, and all the drinks, the shakes. It just went on and on. And then finally, when I read that one thing that their family, there was a whole article written about it back in the day, and I was reading it, and I'm like, no wonder. Four more. Yay, Nikki! You can do it. Whatever it is you're doing, you can do it. And then that's when I fell into, well, actually, was it, I want to say it might have been intermittent fasting first, but it might have been keto. I think it was keto, then intermittent fasting. And now it's the carnivore and intermittent fasting. Because even when I was off carnivore diet for that year before I came back this time, I was still only letting myself eat in a window, except for the chips. So I kind of lied. Yeah, because chips I would eat constantly. But I was trying to keep it in a window. I thought that's what you were doing. God, I've been on so many diets. Hmm. Now, if I eat too many eggs, I get kind of sick. I can't eat too many eggs. I went on a egg only diet for a while. Well, I say egg only, but it was egg, some cheese, egg, cheese, and I think a little bit of mayo or something. But I did that for, I don't know, a few days, and man, did I ever get tired of eggs. I didn't ever get tired of eggs, but boy, did I ever get tired of eggs. Now, I like the beef diet though better than I like the egg diet though. Hi, darling. Hi, baby cakes. Hi, baby cakes. Mama's gonna go cook us some dinner here in a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna cook us some. I got some stew meat. We gotta have some stew meat. You want some stew meat? No. You want chicken instead? Yeah, you want some chicken? You like chicken. How about if you have both? She does the carnivore diet right along with me. I did the 3 day egg diet. Had to fast half of the last day because I couldn't eat another egg. Then it took me 3 weeks to eat another egg after that. Yeah, and it's so weird that that happened. Yeah, I knew you'd come see me with this plan. I'm surprised it took you so long. But it did. It did. I remember at the time thinking because I went on it because I felt I was in a stall, so I went on the egg fast diet. Um, it did break my stall, because I did lose some weight. Last time I had eggs, it was from a food kitchen who prepares food for us, and I got food poisoning. The worst stomach cramping. It was awful. Mm-mm-mm. I had food poisoning once a long, long time ago. I was like maybe in my 20s, and I thought never again I would. If food is left out or anything like that, it's like I'm not eating. And I have had so many fights with my mayo being left out on the counter. If I didn't see how long that mayo was left out on the counter, I don't care if you just pulled it out. If you didn't put it back in the refrigerator, I'm not touching it. I'm throwing it away. So I always have to make sure that I have one in the pantry because I'm constantly throwing them out. I see it on the counter. No one's in the kitchen. I throw it away. And people are like, that's crazy. You should put it in the fridge. Why? I don't want food poisoning. If you can't put it away, it's going in the trash. That's it. So I think I don't catch it very often out on the counter anymore. But nope. That's one of the biggest things in this house is the mayo being left out on the counter. The United States government needs to start suing food kitchens who feed homeless for not following food practices. I don't know enough of that to even make a comment, but I don't think any kitchen, they should all follow food practices. I think they're supposed to anyways if they're feeding the public, whether they're homeless or not. I know in a jails have to have, they have to practice food practices. They have to go along with it. I'm warning you right now. If you ever go to jail, don't eat the food. Live off from the commissary only. Because you never know what's in that food. I know. I've been there. I've seen what the inmates that cook that food do to that food. I know. And I'm telling you, don't eat it. Don't eat it. So hope and pray you never end up in jail, people. There has to be someone there that has managing food server certificate. I kind of told you that I use talking pure. Even if I was to cook out of my kitchen and took it out to the streets to give it away, that I'd still have to follow food practices because I'm giving it away to the public. The migrants may have done something to the eggs. I don't know about that either. Not sure. Don't know. So does anyone else have anything else to add or about food addiction or I mean I enjoy all your company. Um, okay then. Any more questions at all? Might just go ahead and end it. And we're still coming back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday nights live at 8 o'clock for Carnivore and then tomorrow night is also the live. We also do a live Sunday night tonight at about 10 o'clock Eastern time, and we stay around for about 4 hours, and we crochet. We talk about anything, carnivore, keto, whatever you want to talk about. It's it's like think of it as like a I don't know what would you consider it like, Nikki? Our late nights. She's already ready to go. Look at her. 3, 2, 1. Push the button. See you tonight. Aliens eating brown rice. Oh, she's so funny. All right, guys. 10 o'clock tonight is our next live, and it's anything goes. And you can sit around and crochet, and we just chit chat. And we might even talk about aliens and eating brown rice. So, on that note, guys, be kind. Um, love on a pet. If you don't have a pet, consider adopting or rescuing. Someone just rescued. That's. I'm gonna squirrel. I got a squirrel. I'm gonna squirrel. Well, I say that during the end of every video, and someone told me a story about their husband going to the church metal trash can, one of those great big metal trash cans, and he saw a glass cage in it, and inside was a lizard. I think he said a deco. I think she said a deco. And so they adopted a deco. Isn't that great? Yeah, I told you I was going to squirrel. All right, so that's so rescue. That person did. They rescued. So thank you for rescuing that pet. And on that note, goodbye everyone. 3, 2, 1. Beep.